going on in the economy. I can sum it up with this cartoon here. The middle class is being pressured. The middle class is feeling the brunt of the pressure of what's happening in the economy. Let's look. How would you feel if that was your increase from 60,000 to 260,000? How many of you would be fired up and excited about that? I'm sure everyone would be, right? Everyone would be. But then they say, sorry, oops, we made a mistake. It's not your salary that's going to increase. Your salary is going to stay pretty much the same, but your cost of living is what's going to go up. Your expense. So almost half is gone in the first 5 years. Then 65% fail in the first 10 years. 65% fail in the first 10 years. You know what's crazy? Only 25% of new businesses make it to 15 years or more. Let's talk about what's happening in the economy. What's going on in the economy? What's happening? As you can see, we are in crazy, unprecedented times. Do you agree? We are in crazy, unprecedented times. So, one of the things that's happening is you see lots and lots of layoffs. You see lots and lots of debt happening. We are in record debt, not only personal debt, but government debt, record debt. Taxes is going crazy. Inflation is out of hand. It's skyrocketing. Income hasn't seen the same soar as everything else. So what's going on in the economy? I can sum it up with this cartoon here. The middle class is being pressured. The middle class is feeling the brunt of the pressure of what's happening in the economy. Let's look at some companies that were laid off. If you are in our WhatsApp group, I made a post on a couple of these. Amazon, this is all this week, right? Look at the date. Look at the date. January 17th, this was posted, right? Pay attention to the dates. Amazon, they cut 18,000 workers and is considered to be one of the biggest layoffs, right? I like what it says down here. Amazon's layoffs are just a fraction of its 1.5 million global force. But those 18,000 people, they're going to feel it for sure. They're going to feel the pressure. Google lays off 12,000. Another 12,000 people. Look at the date, January 20th, right? This is all this week. What's happening? 12,000 employees Google laid off. Microsoft laid off 10,000. They cut jobs. 10,000 people is laid off. Capital One, they laid off 1,100 people. Right? You would say, well, they're in the financial industry, that credit cards, right? What's going on? They laid off 1,100 people. Spotify, they're laying off 6% of its workforce. So they have about 10,000 employees. They're laying off around 600 employees is going to be laid off. So this is ongoing. This is just some of them, right? This is ongoing for the middle class. And the middle class is who is feeling it the most. Imagine something. Imagine that you were going to work, right? You walked into work and your boss says to you, we have a surprise for you. And you say, what is it? What's the surprise? And they say, well, we got a raise for you. And you start to feel excited. You get excited. And then the boss continues. They said, well, the raise we're going to give you is 436% increase in your salary. How many of you would be so excited and fired up if you got a 436% increase in your salary? So you're super excited. You start to do the math, right? You start the calculations. You're like, well, I make $60,000 a year. Let's say, right, as an example, you make $60,000 a year. And so you do 60,000 by 436%. You do the quick math. You're like, that's going to quadruple. So that's over $260,000 per year. How would you feel if that was your increase from 60,000 to 260,000. How many of you would be fired up and excited about that? I'm sure everyone would be, right? Everyone would be. But then they say, sorry, oops, we made a mistake. It's not your salary that's going to increase. Your salary is going to stay pretty much the same, but your cost of living is what's going to go up. Your expenses is what's going to go up. The cost of your home prices is going to go up. How would you feel then? How would you feel? Let's put that into perspective. You look at what is happening with the middle class. A 4-year tuition used to cost in 1990, $8,972. Okay. Today, it costs over $31,000. The average home price used to cost $225,000. There was a time that you could buy an average home for $225,000. That same home today is going to cost you $1.2 million. All right. A liter of gas used to cost 59 cents. All right. That same liter of gas is going to cost you now $1.50 on average. In 1990, you could raise a child from 0 to age 18 for $120,000. Now, today, that cost has soared to $233,000. Same child, right? Different time. You want to buy a new car? An average new car used to cost $9,400. Today, the same car on average costs $45,000. So you say, well, Jermaine, what's happening? Let me put this again into perspective, because the median income, are you ready? $51,000 was in 1990, but the median income now is $75,452. All right. So what is the increase? Let's look at the increase. Some of you guys like numbers. Let me give you some numbers. The 4-year tuition, that meant it went up by 253%. That was the increase. 253%. The average home price went up by 436%. That's how much it went up, right? The liter of gas from 1990 has increased by 154%, right? To raise a child from 0 to age 18 has gone up 94% since 1990. The average new car has gone up 379% since 1990. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? The median income, that means the middle income, 50% is above, 50% is below, has gone up 47%. What? Are you trying to tell me, Jermaine, that the median income has only gone up by 47%, and in the same time, home prices, the average home price went up by 436%? You remember when I said, imagine you got that raise for 436%? So your income, if it went up 436%, right, from 60,000 should be 260,000. But how many people has seen an increase in their income anywhere close to that? Nobody, because the income has not been increasing the way everything else is increasing. Income is not keeping up with the cost of living. And not having enough money is the symptom. It's not the problem. Let me repeat that again. Not having enough money is the symptom. It's not the problem. It's a symptom. Let's say Sammy goes to the doctor. Sammy's a fictitious character. He goes to the doctor because he's constantly feeling tired and lethargic. And, the doctor checks him out and say, yep, no wonder you're feeling that way. You're not fit. What's the symptom? The symptom is Sammy feeling tired, but that's not the problem. The problem is Sammy's out of shape, right? If he gets in better shape, he's going to feel better. Yes or yes? So not having enough money is the symptom. It's not the problem. The problem is how people earn their money, right? It's how people earn their money. The symptom just shows up as not having enough money. Does that make sense? The symptom is not having enough money. The problem is how people earn their money. So what is the solution to all of this? What is the solution? If the problem is how people earn their money, what's the solution? I believe wholeheartedly the solution is entrepreneurship. I believe entrepreneurship is the solution. And I believe because of what is happening in the time right now in the economy, the timing has never been better to educate yourself and become an entrepreneur. Equip yourself and become an entrepreneur. The problem is not the cash flow. The problem is how the person earns the cash flow. All right. So you say, well, you know, Jermaine, I thought about starting businesses, or I looked into businesses before. What are the successful business rates? Like how successful are businesses? If you start a traditional business, what is the likelihood of your success? Let's say you start a dry cleaner or a hair salon or a pizza store or a convenience store, right? Or a car wash. Okay, you start all these, you come up with these different ideas. You want to start a traditional business. What are the success rates? Let's look at them together. 20% of new businesses, they fail in the first 2 years of being open. 20%. Boom, 2 years, they're gone, right? This is according to Investopedia. Now, 45% fail. That number jumps up from 20%. So 45% fail during the first 5 years in business. So almost half is gone in the first 5 years. Then 65% fail in the first 10 years. 65% fail in the first 10 years. You know what's crazy? Only 25% of new businesses make it to 15 years or more. That's crazy. So you look around, right? You look around, you see all the dry cleaners, the hair salons, the pizza store, the convenience stores. 15 years, 1 out of 4, you take 1 out of 4, 1 out of 4 is going to be gone. They're going to be wiped out. They won't be able to survive, right? So many people shy away from entrepreneurship because why? They have to put up capital. Who wants to put up capital, hundreds of thousands of dollars, hire employees, all this kind of stuff, only to see the business disappear after 15 years? The odds are against the entrepreneur, right? If we look at the facts, the odds are against the entrepreneur. Why am I telling you that? Because there's something that prevents you from winning in business. What if I could give you some ideas, some concepts, and some strategies that would prevent you from not winning, right? That would make you win, that would help you to become successful. What if I could give you these strategies to help you win in business and dominate as an entrepreneur? Would that be something that you would be interested in? I remember working with a young lady. Again, I'm going to change her name for privacy reasons. Let's call her Shauna. And she started her own business in the financial industry. She had the ability to offer great products, solid compensation plan through the firm that she was working with. And she was super excited to start building her business. And she was so eager to share the products with her family, her friends. And, you know, even though she was initially enthusiastic, she found herself struggling, right? She found herself not able to make any real progress in her business. And then eventually Shauna gave up. She gave up on her business. She gave up on her dreams. She gave up on her goals. And we figured out after the fact, this was way after the fact, when it was too late, we figured out the main reason for her failure. And she didn't fully understand the concept of building a business. She thought all she had to do was share it with her family and her friends, and that would be enough for her to be successful. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. Another example that I recall is a client, actually, who was a professional dentist. And he decided to go into business for himself. Now, the thing with him is he had a great network. He had a really good reputation. But he found himself struggling to get any kind of real traction in the business. He just couldn't get it to move, which is odd because you look at this person that has great reputation, great network. Why can't he get his business off the ground? So after looking at the business, it became very, very clear what the issue was. He was not comfortable marketing his products. He wasn't comfortable with the sales aspect of business because he's never been in that type of role before. So he wasn't comfortable with the idea of promoting the products that he was offering to his network. Imagine having a business and not being comfortable promoting the products and the services that you offer, right? So he wasn't willing to step out of his comfort zone. And he wasn't willing to learn the skills that was going to help him succeed in the business, which ultimately led him to failing in the business. Now, so what's the difference? Why do some people win in business and some people lose? Why? White people win in business, black people win in business. White people lose in business, black people lose in business. Asian people, Hispanic people, men, women, short, tall. What's the difference? What's the difference? Let me give it to you. Most people fail in business because they lack the understanding of how to truly build and grow a successful business. They lack the understanding of sales. They lack the understanding of marketing. They fail to step out of their comfort zone. They lack the ability to find new customers. Hey, listen, it's great to start with your family and friends. It's great to start with that, but you got to evolve. Could you imagine Microsoft growing to the size that it's at today if they only thought about their immediate circle of friends and family? Can you imagine Apple being the size it is today if they only thought about their products going to their friends and their family only? Tesla, Google, McDonald's, right? They didn't know how to build a team, right? They don't know. People don't succeed don't know how to build an organization. They don't know how to build a team. They don't develop the skills. They don't develop the mindset that's necessary to become a success.